Hello and welcome to another Q&A here on Watch It Plays. My name is Matthew and we're here to answer, with a lot of your help, all of the world's burning board game questions. And the first up is some self-reflection, the worst type of reflection, because that is, what is your board game toxic trait? A toxic trait, a board game specific toxic trait. Something that happens around the table and you're not proud of, but you do, and you find yourself doing it and you think, why am I like this? And why do people play with me? I will start off in a way that helps me by saying one of the biggest board game toxic traits that I hate in other people, if I'm perfectly honest, is when people complain the whole way through the game that they're not going to win and then they do win. That bugs the heck out of me. It really does. And I hate it as well when people say, I'm so stupid, I'm so stupid, and they beat you. And you go, you just called yourself stupid for an hour and 45 minutes. And you came second. I came third. What does that make me? People don't realise that sometimes. It's like, if you're saying that I won, I played like an idiot though, but I still won. It's like, well, you're telling everyone else around the table that they played worse than you. Worse than an idiot. I also do hate it. I mean, I know these are other people's toxic traits, but we'll get to mine in a bit. I also hate it when people don't listen when I'm teaching the rules. I swear, it just bugs the heck out of me. If I'm teaching the rules to someone and they're just on their phone, my brother does this. God love him. But I'll be teaching him the game, halfway through it, he'll be like, all right, I'm going to go make a hot drink. Do you want anything from the kitchen? No! I want you to sit down for the next 5 minutes and learn this game. I'm mid-sentence. Bugs the absolute living heck out of me. For my personal board game toxic trait, I've written it down, is sometimes if I don't win a lot of games, but sometimes if I'm winning, and I'm pretty sure I'm winning, I have a tendency sometimes to rush other people so I can get back to my turn because I'm having fun winning. And that's not good. I want everyone to have a good, fair chance and not just think that it's pointless playing the game because they know they've lost. You know, I like games that I'll have a secret objective at the end of the game so you don't really know who's won or lost. I think that really helps a lot of board games that I play sometimes. But yeah, sometimes I can rush people along because I'm pretty sure I'm winning and then I'll lose and then I'll look like more of a fool. But that's fine. And you know, let's be honest, we all get a bit grumpy when we know we can't win and we still have to sit there for another 45 minutes. For this amount of time, I'm just here for you to wail on, aren't I? That's it. That's all I'm doing. What's your toxic board game trait? And what are those toxic I feel like I get more for the second option. What's the toxic traits in board gamers that frustrate you the most? Let me know below. And while you're thinking about that, you can also be thinking about the sponsor who, in part, helped make this episode possible. These questions and answers were made possible in part by a game that asks questions with surprising answers. Legendary What If, the long-awaited new core set in the Marvel Legendary line from Upper Deck. This 350 card set of reality endangering threats in alternate timelines is based on the hit Disney Plus animated series Marvel What If, and contains everything you need to play the game. There's 8 new multiverse heroes, including Captain Carter, T'Challa Star-Lord, and Party Thor, and more. Challenge 4 new masterminds, 5 new villain groups, and 3 new henchman groups as you resolve 4 new schemes. Discover new keywords like Soulbind, Liberate, and more. So follow the link in this video's description to find Legendary What If, because in our reality, it's now available online and at local game stores. Team up with the heroes that could be and embark on a journey far beyond the limits of this world. The next question I've got, the second I saw this question, I just latched on because it's near and dear to my heart at the moment. And it's, I've been getting into TCGs, what are the best ones to try? First up, before we get into the weeds of this question, I wrote this down to make sure I'm saying what I'm saying is absolutely correct. I'm going to be classifying trading card games, TCGs, in the same category as collectible card games, CCGs. I'm not going to be classifying LCGs in that same category. An LCG is a living card game. So you've got trading card games, collectible card games, and living card games. T's and C's, similar. L's, different. Essentially, in a TCG or a CCG, the only difference is the trading aspect. What makes them that category to a larger extent is the fact that you are going to be opening random booster packs, or you can do. My advice is to buy the singles that you need to make the decks that you want without opening booster packs. So a CCG and a TCG are going to have randomized booster packs which you are able to buy in a booster box perhaps. An LCG is a living card game which is going to have set expansions. Think of Lord of the Rings the card game, for instance, or Arkham Horror the card game, and it's going to have a set that's going to come out that you then add into your game. And the first one that I've just been absolutely crazy about recently, and I've got Paula into it, and I was with Rodney when he bought bits and pieces for this game as well, and that's called Flesh and Blood. You are a fighter, right? You're a fighter. You start off with all your equipment, a helmet, some body armor, and that type of stuff. You've got a weapon, and you've got your deck of cards, and you are fighting your opponent. It's very much a head-to-head, I'm going to attack you, are you going to block? And then they attack me, and am I going to block type of thing. You've got cards in your hand, and in order to do actions, you need to have the ability to do an action and also the resources with which to pay for that action. There's kind of two currencies essentially. Actions are a currency in the game. You have one action on your turn, but you can also get the action of go again, which allows you to do another action. And essentially to do things, you need to play a card, and then you need to play cards that can pay for that card. It's not a completely new idea, but it's the way that this game works. The cool thing about this game is you're chaining attacks. In some games, it's I attack you for everything, you attack me for everything. But in this game, it's like I'm going to attack you once. Essentially, I'm going to punch you. And they go, okay, I'll block. And then you go, okay, I'm going to add to this punch this thing. And then they're going to say, I'm going to add this block. And then that punch is over. And then you go, now I got go again, I've got another action, and I've got the resource to pay for it, I'm going to kick you, essentially. The actions are much cooler than that. Sometimes it's like, I'm going to summon a spirit of ash and make a dragon, that type of stuff. That's literally something. I found it difficult to get into because I think it's fairly complex, I would say. But man, it's very, very, very fun. And the way I've been playing it is in these little decks called Blitz decks. These are smaller decks to the regular decks, and you play a younger version of the hero. In the full game, you're going to play the of age, kind of like their grown-up age kind of person. Where in the Blitz decks, you just play like a younger version. You've got less cards, and it's just less complex, but you can just get a Blitz deck and play it right out the box. And your opponent has a Blitz deck, you just go head to head, and I've really been loving it for that. The second one I've really been getting into, My Hero Academia is what most people call it, which is one of the best animes of all time, frankly. There's a card game called My Hero Academia, which is actually the card game Universus, which is a much older card game. Essentially we'll call it My Hero Academia, but there's lots of other versions. I have a bunch of the Cowboy Bebop versions of the game that actually, the Universus used to be, oh, this set's Mortal Kombat, this set's Mega Man, this set is Soul Calibur. But in the game, what you're doing is, again, it's kind of like a fighter versus fighter. And you're able to, you've got your hand of cards, and you're going to be trying to attack the different parts of the body, an upper, a lower, and a bottom kind of thing. But the cool thing here is that there's no mana in the game. There's just a check that you have to do. You've got this row of cards, and the checks gets progressively harder. So at some point, you are going to be unable to play cards. But you can play a bunch of cards out if you can just pass the check. So every card that you play out is going to have a check value, and then you have to discard one card from your draw deck, and there's going to be a check value there. And as long as, if I need to play the card I'm playing out has a check value of 2, I need to draw a card which has at least a check value of 2. And if I do, I discard that, but I can play the card out. So you can end up playing a bunch of cards, and then those cards kind of come out, and you can use those for effects, and some of them are going to be attacks, and you're going to be attacking and trying to augment that attack in many different ways. It's such a cool game. I love it, and it does help those My Hero Academia because I love that. I love My Hero Academia so much. But yeah, that's a great game. I think Universus, My Hero Academia card game, would probably be the one that I would recommend to people because I think it's so fun and much easier to get into. Anyway, there's so many that I like. I mean, I like Yu-Gi-Oh! I like Pokemon. I like Keyforge. There's so many I want to get into. I really want to play the One Piece card game. I want to play Dragon Ball Z Super. There's going to be a digital way to play that I really want to play. I'm fascinated by all these card games. There's so many that I would like to play. The Final Fantasy card game, I'd like to give that a try. What TCGs do you like? Let me know in the comments below. And the last question I have for you this month is, I've been getting into, it's similar to the last question actually, I've been getting into Board Game Arena. What are the best games on there? Well, it depends on what kind of game you like, because there's so many games on there now. I will quickly mention up front that Board Game Arena often buy a slot. They have a slot that they buy in the news video that I do. This is an unsponsored segment, so if that's a bias that you are worried about, I do fundamentally believe that nothing takes the place of actually playing a board game in real life with real people. I don't think anything comes close to that experience. But I play more games online, more games on Board Game Arena by, I would dread to think, but 100 to 1 probably. Digital games on Board Game Arena to games I play in real life. Probably more than that. I very rarely get a chance to play games in real life. And I don't love playing big, long, heavy games on Board Game Arena. And the reason for that is because I always play turn-based, and you can play turn-based or in real time. Who's got time to play in real time? So I play turn-based, and sometimes if it's a big Euro and I'm like, okay, you come back to it the next day and think, what on earth was I doing? What was my plan? And those type of problems come up when you play those big, heavy games, I feel like, on Board Game Arena. For me personally, I know a lot of people who love playing the heavy games on there. But the games I love playing personally on Board Game Arena, and I've played a lot of different games on Board Game Arena, are the games that are fast and fun, mid-weight to light games, and oftentimes where Board Game Arena makes the game physically, digitally, easier to play. Bunny Kingdom is a game that I absolutely love, and they've got that on Board Game Arena now, and I've been playing it a bunch, and the actual way that the game works on the app makes it easier to play. Because in Bunny Kingdom, it's an area control game. You get cards and you get to pick a card and then place a bunny on the grid where that card denotes. And just the small thing is when you highlight the card, it highlights the spot on the board. So you can go, okay, that's there. And you don't have to think about it. That type of thing. And also it'll tell you, I have this many resources in this many resources in this. Those type of quick and easy things that help. So you don't have to, okay, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You don't have to do any of that. You can just see. That's fantastic. A few others that I've been absolutely loving is Sea Salt and Paper. I love that game a lot. I love playing it physically. But I've played that so much on Board Game Arena because it's so quick and easy and fun. It's fantastic. I've written a few of these down. I've played through the entire of the Crew Quest for Planet 9 on Board Game Arena. And I'm most of the way through the Crew Mission Deep Sea on Board Game Arena. Both of those games. And nothing, again, is comparable to playing those games in real life, but I've certainly loved playing them digitally. It's been fantastic. And also the Castle of Burgundy, which is probably my personal favourite board game of all time. I could play that every day on Board Game Arena and never get tired of doing so. It's just so good, and I love being able to play Castles of Burgundy. That's probably my favourite game of all time to play on Board Game Arena as well. What are your favourite games to play on Board Game Arena or any of the other digital platforms that we have? But on Board Game Arena, what are the ones that you really, really like to play? And until next time, thank you so much for being here. I absolutely appreciate you. If you've got any answers to any of the questions or any powerful rebuttals to any of the things I've said, please let me know in the comments below, and I'll talk to you next time.